Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome to Circle of Sisters Table Talk, the virtual podcast where we speak out while fixing each other's crown. My name is Lady Unk, and I am here today with my sacred sister, Chantel C. Erta. We are both self care coach, lifestyle wellness coaches, holistic practitioners, alchemists, herbalists, you name it, okay?
Medicine women. Hey,
And we
yes.
are here today to talk about embracing the queen within. Chantel, you want to tell them a little bit more about embracing the queen within?
Ashe, yes, yes. So today's podcast is going to be about just diving into embracing the queen within and what that looks like. It's very much a personal journey, right? It's a personal journey that both of us have already began to navigate. It's a journey where you really go into yourself, go into your heart, see the things that you want to experience and feel the feelings that you want to feel, and then begin to embrace that queen energy, that queen inner God in you. So, this is what it's all about. It's all about making sure that we have. First off, the tools, as we've been speaking on multiple days, and then seeing what the tools are and how we go through the steps to embracing the queen within. It has been based on the teachings of our wonderful mentor, Queen Afua, and her sacred work of Sacred Woman. And that is truly who we are. We are sacred women, and we have to embrace that queen mentality in all areas of our life to live the queenly life, or to live a sacred life that's worth sharing and that you're looking forward to waking up to every day.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when we talk about embracing the queen, um, really, we have to understand what a queen actually is. And so, I was looking up the title queen and what it means, and it's basically a sovereign ruler,
Mm,
sovereign
yes.
authority. Um, and a lot of times we don't take ownership of our life. We don't take accountability for our lives. We don't honor ourselves as a queen because we don't really understand what that means. It really means that you are the divine creator, creatress of your reality. You are in control of the world that you see around you. Um, and when we operate from that stance, we open up a world of opportunities to ourselves. And so today, as we talk about our 12-week program, our cohort, Embracing the Queen Within, we're going to talk about some of the principles that a queen has to develop. When we talk about the royal families that we have come to know over the generations, when they take the throne, prior to taking the throne, they go through similar to a rites of passage. They have to learn certain things physically, spiritually, socially. And that's really kind of what we dive into within the 12-week program. We are giving you everything that a queen would need in order to live a sovereign life and take ownership of her life.
Yes, that is so right on point. It's like we are a royal priesthood or priestesshood. And as women, we have to learn what that is. The world, as you mentioned, socially teaches us, you have all kinds of women in the world, right? We have all kinds of titles, we have all kinds of ideas of women when we think of it. Even in our culture, we have the hood chicks, we have the chicken heads, we have the, whatever. We have those women that we esteem. Right now, the topic of being a boss chick is a real common thing. And
Mhm.
it's like all of these parts of womanhood is really a part of who we kind of connect ourselves with, right? The images that we connect ourselves with are the images that we choose to connect ourselves with. And here at the Circle of Sisters podcast, we want to connect ourselves with the queenliness and how a queen would rule, how a queen would reign, how a queen would present herself to the world in order to get the things that a queen deserves, because we all are really queens. We can be a hood queen, we can be a thug queen, we can be,
Right.
it's still being a queen. So the intentive that we have set up for our collective is definitely to go into who you are, but definitely put the crown on to go with it. So today's podcast, we're going to go through a couple of those principles and just throw them out there to spark your interest in wanting to know more. And then as the days go by, we'll dive a little bit deeper in it. But we'll start with the first principle of embracing the queen within, which is
taking your throne. Okay. And when the queen takes the throne, that is the first sign that she is accepting responsibility, ownership, accountability, of looking over those who surround her. She's taking responsibility of not only looking out for herself, but looking out for the royal family, for her entire village, her entire nation, right?
yes,
And so when we
yes.
take our seat, we are putting ourselves in a position to really own up to who we are. And that starts with really understanding yourself. This is the principle where we talk about connecting with your womb, okay, your seat of creation, thus taking the throne, because your womb is your throne. Your womb is a holy place, a sovereign place. And when we look at it as such, then we understand that it's not to be taken lightly. We have to connect with our womb on a deeper level, with our mind connected, our heart connected, and the seed of creation. We have to make sure that we're checking in with ourselves. A lot of us, throughout traumas that we may have experienced, sometimes and even often, even battled relationships that are diseases that has us disconnected from our womb. And so,
Right.
go ahead, sis.
Right. And with that, taking your seat of authority, right? Taking responsibility and accountability for your life. That is taking your seat, right? First, you have to know, really, first off, what kind of life do I want to live, right? What kind of things do I want to have? Who do I truly wish to be? And being able to sit with yourself and then rehearse or review, not rehearse, review who you have been, because it's all very important to who you are becoming. And being able to take the time to sit with yourself, connect with your womb space, which is also our gut, kind of, and the way it speaks to us and gives us guidance and gives us directions and gives us insights of things that we truly wish to experience, but may not even have an idea of how to reach that level. So maybe this first principle is just sitting with yourself and seeing how your life, your personal life, can influence the lives of those you come in contact with. And then also it's about solidifying your relationship with your I am, your truth. Yes.
Oh my gosh. I love that you said solidifying your relationship, because that just hits it on the head. This is about you really not just reconnecting with your womb, but saying, listen, I see you, I hear you, and I'm here with you. And we're gonna work together from now on out. I'm not going to disregard you. I am going to connect with my womb and my innermost thoughts, because that's really what your womb is. That's the center of your creation. And so being apart from it, means you aren't in control of your life. You're not able to guide your outcomes of your destiny when you're disconnected or separated from. So I love that you said solidifying that I am, solidifying that
Yes,
connection
yes.
with
I am
your
that I am, the queen of my own experiences, right?
Ashe.
And that's a powerful, that is a very, very first step, principle to really living your best life and embracing the queen within, because again, it's within all of us. Then we'll go to food for the soul. Food for the soul, sis.
Food for we skipped one.
Oh, which did we skip?
We skipped one. Speaking your dreams
Oh,
into reality.
speaking your dreams into reality. Go for it.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Speaking your dreams into reality. So we aren't going to go into it very much, but we do go into the words that we speak, the etymology of the words that we speak, understanding that our not only our mind and our thought, but more importantly, our words hold a vibrational frequency, and we will go into that. And that frequency really creates the world around you. So what you speak becomes your reality. And so we talk a lot about using affirmations, removing the destructive tongue or removing the destructive words that are casting spells over your life, that are casting.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So we talk a lot about that within that. Did you want to add anything to
I would say yes. It's not only what we speak, it's also what we take in, right? Because what's within, because that's where we're focusing on, what's within is what is going to be presented without. And so when we take in things that don't serve our queenly lifestyle, we are going to speak those things because that's what's coming in. What's coming in also is what's going out. So this principle will also talk about what are you feeding your soul.
Yes.
Leading us to what's feeding our soul, but what are you putting into your body? What are you putting in, and what are you speaking out? So yeah.
It's perfect that you said that, because it does really go hand in hand with food for the soul. Food for the soul is not just particularly about what you are eating. Okay. A lot of times we think that when we say food is medicine, it's just the actual plants or meats or whatever you're putting into the body, but it is everything that you're consuming, especially with your ears and your eyes. And we don't think of those as things that we are consuming, but what we look at, what we hear, all come into contact with food for the soul. It is how we are absorbing that which is around us, what things we are taking in. And so with food for the soul, we not only talk about the herbs that you can use that will help to heal elements within your body, but we also talk about some things that you may want to maybe not completely remove, but minimize your time with certain things that may not be feeding you the proper nutrients spiritually.
Yes, and I those things go hand in hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, like I was saying before, what we put in is what we speak out. And this work is really all encompassing, right? It's utilizing all of our senses. You know, it's utilizing our touch, our taste, our feel, our sight, and our, what's the fifth vibration?
Did we say
Touch,
taste?
tasty, okay, and taste. So it's
Smell.
what tastes good, and smell. That's the one I missed. So smell. So it's utilizing all of our senses to really begin to cultivate an experience within ourselves that influences the experiences that we experience outside ourselves, and teaching us how we can begin to create new habits to support the work that we are doing, because it is hard work, because everything is continually coming at you, and
Mm-hmm.
you know that you have to be the person who takes control over your life, and you can't allow other outside forces to take control of it. So as we go through setting on our throne, first getting the insight of what it is that I really want to do to embrace the queen within. We go into speaking our dreams into a reality. I wanted to kind of go back there because often we get stuck in the reality that we find ourselves in, and we think that this is all we get. You know, this is all my mama had, this is all my family had, this is all that I get. But somewhere deep inside you, there's a greater experience that you would want to experience. So we can tap into how we bring that inner outward by doing this work. And then going back to the food. So the food, definitely, the food that you put in your mouth, the food that you put into your soul, whether it's music, whether it's television shows, whether it's books that you're reading, whether it's things that you're scrolling through, as we spoke on this week, and it's capturing your attention, that is going into your soul. And that is what's going to come out of your mouth. That's what you're going to experience. That's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to continue to experience. So beginning this work will help you begin to change those outcomes. And then we go into, go ahead.
Absolutely, which really changing those outward things goes into, once we start solidifying that foundation, we need to now learn how to move with ease and grace. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Being intentional about our movements. A lot of times we've been on this hamster wheel for so long, we just keep running, we just keep running, we just keep running. The wheel breaks, we just keep running. We just keep running. Something happens, we just keep running. We don't change directions, we just keep running because that's how we've been conditioned. And when you start to set with yourself, when you start to speak your reality and consume the things that are now nurturing and feeding your soul, now is a time for you to get off the hamster wheel and learn to move with ease and grace, having intentional movement. And what that is, it's actual physical movement, but it's actually just telling us really how to step back into our body and allow our spirit to move us.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. And that goes into how easily we get stuck in the rat race, right? We get stuck just like, oh, we going with everybody else. We just going. But there's no intentionality around that, right? You're just going because that's what everybody else is doing. So the sitting with ourselves and knowing and having a plan, because once we sit on the throne, now we create the plan of where we want to go. And then we begin to navigate our energy, and our soul's energy begins to merge with us to allow us to move in the direction that we are meant to go to. And that is moving through yoga, moving through dance, moving in sometimes just sitting still, because that is a movement as well. Sitting in that silence, not feeling like you have to go, 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 go. And then from that space, you begin to get more clarity, more clear directions of, okay, I know everybody's going this way, but it don't feel good to me, and I can feel good going the opposite direction. And being able to move the energy so that you're not stuck and that you don't feel blockages. It also helps to allow the physical temple of our body more mobile. If you're struggling from aches and pains and stiff joints and not being flexible, like you mentioned, the grace, giving yourself grace, but setting a task that helps you move it and moving it with intention, so that it's not just go, 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 go. We're doing physical things that really allows energy to flow through our body and help us release the things that no longer serve us, so that we can make space for the things that we're wanting to bring in. That's what it's called, moving with ease and grace.
Absolutely. Then we go into nurturing the divine feminine. And this has been a really big topic of discussion for about the last 5 to 10 years. Many women have realized, have come to the awareness that we are living in our masculine energy. Most of us work full time
Mm.
jobs where we have to reside in that um, masculine energy for so long or so many hours of the day, it's really important that we identify times where we can nurture the divine feminine energy within us. And what that looks like, simply put, is self care, our
Yeah.
self care routines, our beauty routines, nurturing ourselves, caring for ourselves, really showing ourselves um, the love and the pampering that we desire. We have to tap into that for ourselves. Within this area, we do talk about childhood trauma. The reason we talk about childhood trauma, especially for women, is because this is where the separation normally begins from us tapping into our divine feminine energy. Maybe as a child, we heard, we're not pretty enough, we're too large or too small, or we've heard things within our adolescence that really took us apart from tapping into our beauty, our sexuality, our feminine energy. Feminine energy is a very powerful but yet subtle force, which can be easily broken through childhood trauma. And so, this is the area where we nurture our inner child and we get back to polishing our nails and pampering ourselves and just loving up on ourselves.
Yes, we'll dive into just those simple things. And this is a space for feminine beauty and feminine essence, and also learning how to play. Learning how to play. So not only in our childhood do we have a lot of trauma, some of us, if we are really focused and in this masculine energy, miss that opportunity to just be a kid, right? To
Mhm.
just play, to just be, to just explore the things that we like or the things that we may have an interest in, and really get to know who we are. Because it's not always that it's baby dolls and dollhouses, right? I
Yes.
personally was a tomboy, right? I enjoyed doing those things that allowed me to create things, building things, and playing in the dirt, and just really doing the things that boys do, playing sports, but that was fun to me, right?
Mhm.
So even in that space, it's like this part is about the feminine, right? We all have masculine and feminine energies, and it both have to be balanced. That
Yes.
doesn't mean that you can't be someone who identifies as a guy, but you're a girl, but you still have feminine energy that allows you to be soft, that allows you to be nurturing, that allows you to be, the best you can be. So we want to let you know that this isn't all about dressing up in gowns and putting on your crown. Your crown is your headspace. Your crown is your way you filter information into your body. So whatever that information is coming to you, being able to present yourself wholly in that space is what it's about. So nurturing yourself, caring for yourself, offering grace to yourself,
Yes.
showing up as yourself, truly, authentically, however that looks. And we're here to support that space for you, because everybody is going to have an opinion about what that looks like for you or how you present. We have tons of different personalities, different ways of people showing up in the world, but this space is really safe. And it's like,
Yes.
hey, come as you are and get this information so that you can be equipped to stand no matter how things come to try and knock you down, because you're okay just the way you are. But the tools of self-care can be utilized by everyone, for sure.
Absolutely. I am so glad you mentioned the tools of self care. because that's really what these principles are. They are tools for you to really start to deep dive into how do I care for me, because each one of us has to care for ourselves in a very particular way. And if we don't understand that in our own right, it's very hard for us to convince those outside of us to care for us in that same exact way, which is why we have these principles, which is why we honor these principles, because they honor us. These principles are really not about you looking to anything outside of yourself, but how can you, with the tools that you are already born with, you were divinely created with these tools, how do you use that in order to fortify yourself and your lifestyle? When we talk about all of these things that we are doing for self, then there comes a point where we are going to transition our mind from internal to now start looking into external factors. And that's where we get into honoring your castle.
Yeah.
Honoring your castle is not just about your home. That is it, but it is also the castle of your mind, right? Clearing out clutter that is no longer serving you. A lot of us over time, we've gone to several teachers, maybe we've sat with several mentors, maybe we've gone throughout extended learning and we've learned and gathered all this information. And there comes a time in everyone's life where we have to filter out the part of the information that no longer serves us, or the things that we've been holding on to in our mental space that we realize are not beneficial. Doubt, fear, worry, stress. These are some of the things that clutter our mind and prevent us from really being able to honor ourselves, right? Because we're operating from a face of fear or worry. We won't take that next step that our heart is telling us, girl, just go to this speed dating. Your husband gonna be there, but you scared, like, oh, I don't want to go. I don't want to do that. I'm scared to take that leap of faith or start that new business. You're supposed to be starting it, but oh, I'm worried. What if I lose all my money? What if this doesn't work? Or you start the business and you're stressed, right? These are the things that clutter our minds and really prevent us from living fully and enjoying life as it is happening to us, because we're too bogged down with the different mental clutter. So honoring your castle is about honoring your mental well-being.
And again, with the mental well-being, when your house is cluttered, in your mind, when your crown is cluttered, when your mind is cluttered, you see that resemblance in your physical home.
Yes.
So one way we teach is that if we begin to declutter our surroundings, we can help declutter our minds. So it's very, very symbolic how our physical bodies and our physical experiences are reflected in our outward environments. So really in cleaning your castle or honoring your castle, this is the time that we'll really take time to honor ourselves in what do we truly believe. Like Lady Unc was saying, what have we been taught before that now we really don't believe, right? Let's remove some of the clutter. Let's remove some of the things that help prevent us from thinking as clearly as we should. So as we do that, as we go through that principle, diving deep into it, we'll talk about more of the ways that we can clear the clutter, clear our minds, and really align it to the plan that we create in the beginning of staying seated on our throne.
Absolutely. Thank you. And you did touch about the physical aspect of what our home looks like, is a reflection of our mental space. And so a lot of us understand, while we're cleaning up, we start getting so many downloads. Even just in the normal days cleaning, we get downloads. And when you look around your home, if it does not feel the way that you want it to feel, there's chances are it's time for you to start sprucing up. Maybe you need to get a new picture, switch the sofas around, cleanse the space. And those are the things that we talk about within Honoring Your Castle. After Honoring Your Castle, we go into following your intuition. And this is where you start to really tap into your internal power. Okay. This is where we start to give you tools of how to tap into the power that's given to you. Each one of us shares a certain sense of power. We've heard of clairvoyance. Everyone knows what that is. Those are people who see um, visions or give visual imagery. But there's also different senses, spiritual senses that each one of us have. You may not see images, but maybe when you listen to music or you hear people speak, you receive information, you receive downloads. Or when you are around someone, you feel a certain way, your energy shifts. When we talk about honoring your intuition, we really kind of teach you some of the ways that you can figure out what your spiritual gifts are and how you can lean into those.
Yes, because really we all have been sent here with special powers. We are the medicine. We are the healers, right? And as we tap into our inner knowing of who we are, we begin to connect with those superpowers and those powers that allow us to reign and rule our lives in the way that we are equipped to do. And then with that, we are able to touch the lives of other people because we are honoring ourselves. We're being truly who we have been created to be. So this is really a deep dive into what it is. What is your special gift, right? What is your gift? What is your gift that you may not have been utilizing even for yourself? But what is your gift that you are sent here to give to someone else, or to hold space for someone else, or to honor them in your creative abilities, or offering a service that only you can give, right? So this is the space where tapping into that mind space, opening up our crown chakra, if you're familiar, to get those informations to come into you, and then to begin to trust it. Because we have not been working with our own magic. We have not been working with our God-given gifts. We have not been really aligning or answering the call that we've heard for most of our life. And therefore, now we are suffering and we're sick. And we're wondering, like, why am I so sick? Or why is all this stuff continuing to happen to me? Because that's the loudest thing you hear, or that's the most evident reality that you see. But somewhere in your back of your mind, there's something else you're supposed to be doing. There's something else that you're supposed to be doing. And this intuition and opening it up allows you to feel confident enough to walk in it. So
absolutely,
this stuff gets me excited because it's like,
yes,
it's reminding me, even in this space, of, yes, this is what we're supposed to be doing, right? We're supposed to be really helping our own souls rise to lead us and guide us. And that is the intuition. That is the God essence within us that most of us outside of religion have not connected to. So trusting your own God-given intuition, insight, Holy Spirit, whatever kind of spirit that lifts you higher. That's what the honoring your intuition is all about.
Absolutely. And once we've learned to honor our intuition, here is the first step of really I don't want to say addressing, but fortifying the relationships around you. So we have Ladies in Waiting, which is really talking about fortifying your friendships. Throughout my spiritual journey, and I know Chantel can attest to this, the relationships, the friendships, the circle of sisters, right, that we've surrounded ourselves with has really helped to fortify our goals and our walk within this journey. It has really helped to fortify and strengthen our resolve to keep going. And it's fortifying we're fortifying them, they're fortifying us. It's a reciprocity. And so when we get into ladies in waitings, fortifying your relationships or fortifying your friendships, we are really talking about having the difficult conversations with the friends that you need to have the difficult conversations with, releasing those friends that you have toxic interaction with, right? Releasing those people. Um, and with love and light, we don't let anyone go out of disrespect, but sometimes we're not honoring the expiration date of the relationship.
That is a good one. That is a good one. The expiration date of the relationship. And it doesn't mean that they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing in this time and space. So these are the ladies in waitings. Mm-hmm. These are the sacred sisters that haven't yet ascended, don't want to ascend yet, because they still have other things they have to do. Mm-hmm. And that is cool. But when you decide to take your seat on the throne, you can't be distracted, as we spoke about in our other podcast. Mm-hmm. You can't allow the distractions to come in. And that doesn't mean that you don't still love that friend, that you still don't have a connection with that friend, but you can't allow them into your close inner circle, right? They can be on the outer courts, right? It's like you're on the outer courts, but you're waiting. You're the ladies in waiting, because once they see the change in you, they're going to be attracted to it. They're going to want to know what is it that you're really doing when their time comes. So we honor relationships, and with that, it's about being able to balance. Yeah. Okay? Being able to balance what is needed now and what may be needed later, and be able to come back fortified into that space in your outer courts to stand in your truth, to continue to reign and rule over your life and your experience and the things you bring into it. It's a perfect way to definitely develop strengths, create boundaries, and to really know that what you're doing is purposeful. And you're not only doing it for you, you're doing it for sure.
Absolutely. And I want to touch really briefly on the purpose of the ladies in waitings for the queen, right? So in high society, when the queen's lady in waitings, those are like her best friends. They are supposed to know what the queen's agenda is, what the queen is going for, what her goals are, and they really help to deviate anything that is going to separate the queen from her goal or the queen from her plan. They're there to help uplift her spirits when she's down. They're there to really serve the queen. And I'm not saying that anyone has to serve you in that way, but your friendships should serve you. And this is where we really start to deep down and look at, are these relationships, are these friendships serving me, in this new walk, in this new journey that I'm headed towards. So that's the first part. There is another part of this that I absolutely love, which is the royal family. And this is where we really take a look at our family, particularly those who live and reside with us in the home, because that is our castle, that's our safe space, and that's what we're cultivating it to be. And so we have to unify the goal of the family. We have to make sure that we are all in alignment within our home space, because that's where we really start to shift our reality once we really fortify those close relationships and unify our home. And so we talk about sacred relationships, or the sacred union between husband and wife, or spouses. We talk about the union from mother to child, father to child. and siblings. So we really just talk about the family dynamic and structure and how we can fortify those relationships. Do you want to add anything to that, sis?
Yes, just the fact that, our relationships and our families are constantly changing, right? Even as women go through, okay, where is my family once all my children have gotten older and moved out of the house? How do I maintain those relationships? How do I continue to stay seated on my throne when everything around me, as far as my royal family, seems to be separating from me, right? I know as a empty nester, that kind of comes into play, along with relationships for women who are in relationships, that they're not be supporting them learning to sit on their throne, right? Because they've been in this relationship of however and what person they were when they married. And now this work will begin to change the way you show up. And it may empower and fortify your relationship with your spouse, but there may be a time where your spouse may not be in agreement or not wanting you to continue to do this work. So how do you navigate that, right? So this is the space where we'll learn how we can honor our families and honor ourselves while we continue to stay seated on our throne within our royal family. And it will give you some great insights of how that works.
I say. Now, after we've done all of this work, now it's time for us to straighten our crown and really embrace our own divinity, because we have done enough of the work to where it's time for us to say, you know what? I am a queen. Or as the popular culture say, I am that bitch.
Look, I am her. She is me.
So
Ashe.
it's time for you to straighten your crown and really accept, okay, your divinity. And that is sometimes a difficult transition, because we've gone so long giving the control over to someone else or something outside of ourselves, that when we embrace our own divinity, it's time for us to straighten our crown, fix our dress, because we're ready to rise. Do you want to add anything about straightening your crown?
So straightening our crown means that now that I've created a plan, I've saw the vision, I've done the cleanups inside my heart, inside my mind, inside my palace. I've began to reassign relationships. I've began to really be fortified within myself. Now I can really begin to move with ease and grace in every other area of my life. It's about like just taking all that I've experienced and now putting it into work, in a sense. Now I know what I need to do. I can begin to rise up and stand in that space and live my life accordingly, no matter what comes against me, because now I got my tools. I got everything I need to do what I need to do. No matter what happens, I'm fortified. I feel myself. I know that I am that bitch. I know that I am that queen. I don't like to refer to myself as a bitch, but some people find that very uplifting. But for me personally, no. But I am that queen, and I have now began to embrace her, right? And I've embraced her with power, and I embrace her with a plan and a purpose. So that's what this is all about when you get to that space.
Ashe. So now that we have the plan, the purpose, we are embracing our own inner divinity. It's really important that our timing is impeccable, okay? And this is the part where we talk about time in its most sacred form. Talk about time as far as understanding the moon phases, understanding when the time is right. You know, sometimes we have a hard time noticing when the time is right to execute the plan or to go forth with the plan, because we're distracted by things that aren't serving us, or things that have just come to distract our attention. And so, impeccable timing is about understanding that we have to start moving forward with our plan now. Understanding the astrology moon phase, it's really tapping into um, the sacred time. Sacred time is honored by the sun and the moon. So tapping a little bit into nature as it pertains to time. Is there anything else you want to add in regards to time?
I would say it would be a really it's the space where we begin to really begin to enmesh the physical time with
Mm,
the God time, right?
okay.
God time and physical time, and knowing how you can work with the universal principles and the universal elements and the universal moon cycles to say, okay, this is the time for me to do this. This is the time for me to do that. So say that you're kind of like the moon
Mhm.
cycles, as you said. When the moon is full, we say people going crazy, but really the moon full is a time for you to release and a time for you to get rid of the things that no longer serve. That's why people go crazy during the moon cycle.
Mhm.
Or it's the time when energy is really open, right? It's the time where you can create. It's the time where you can begin to navigate what comes next. Then when you go into the time of the moon being
The new
not
moon.
seen in the sky, this is a time to begin to plan. This is a time to begin to strategize what's going to happen so that when it comes forth at the full moon, you're ready. So it's really a deeper dive into how you orchestrate your life to the energy of the universe, and not only just the time on our watch, but being mindful of how we utilize our time and what we're doing during the energies during these cycles of the moon per se.
Absolutely. You hit that on the head. The final portion, or how we wrap this beautiful program up, is with hold on to your scepter. Now, the scepter is an object that a queen or king would hold that dignifies their sovereignty, right? And when we talk about holding on to your scepter, this is really holding on to your power, holding on to your plan, holding on to your dream, holding on to that part of you that you have discovered throughout this program, so that not only is everyone able to see it around you, but you are able to maintain the dream or the vision. Queen always says, hold the vision. And so, hold the scepter is our interpretation of holding the vision. When you hold the scepter, it is not only assigned to you, but it is assigned to all of those around you, that you have taken your sovereign seat. You understand who you are and your internal power, and you ain't afraid to use it.
Look, the sacred wand, right? And when you wave that scepter, you know, people know that you have the authority. You have now been given authority over your life, and you can wield your scepter into the areas that you want to see the things change, because now you have a purpose, and that is a visual tool to allow you to move forward in the direction that your scepter points.
Nashe.
Wherever it points, that's where I'm going, right? And if it's something that needs to be changed, I can point my scepter over there. We're going to change this up a little. I'm going to point my scepter over there. We're going to change this, because now that is aligning things to what and who you say you are. So it's very important to be able to utilize everything that you've been given, everything you've decided that you were going to initiate or move forward with, and that scepter will be your token to, or your tool to visualize and remember. Just like the crown, it's a visual tool to help me remember who I am. I am seated on my throne, and I am equipped because I've done all these different stages to sit in my throne with power. And that scepter is your power. That is your soul sovereignty, because now you have come into it. Now you know what it is. Now you know how and what you were sent here to do, and you can move forward accordingly, which is so, so, so empowering. I mean, it takes us from the depths of ourselves to the highest point of ourselves, and we will fluctuate in between as we go, as we navigate, as we show up each and every day. Yes, every day it's going to be, where am I on my plan? How am I utilizing my scepter? And what is it looking like? Okay, do I need to phone a friend? Do I need to go back to my ladies in waiting? You know, it's beginning to work through all of this. And we will have a wonderful workbook to help you really navigate and dive deep into your own personal way of doing that.
Absolutely. This is a 12-week journey for those who really are tired. They're tired of being stuck. They're tired of not living the life they desire. And they understand that they need help and they want to do it with sisters. We have this 12-week program that culminates with a wonderful, wonderful retreat, our activation retreat. That activation retreat is 3 days, two nights?
Yes.
3 days, 2 nights. Within that retreat, there is yoni ceremony. So we will have a yoni ceremony, which would include yoni steaming and yoni smudging. We will have release rituals, fireside chats, sun salutations or yoga, meditations. We have exercises and workshops. We also have a gala and coronation ceremony. So it's actually a beautiful, beautiful experience.
Along with our shamanic experience.
Excuse me. How did I forget the sacred plants?
Yes.
We also have our shamanic plant medicine experiences as well that we include in there. It's a really fun time to connect with like-minded women. It's a time to really embrace yourself, love on yourself. It is a self-care experience that you
like none other.
like none other. You have never experienced this amount of sisterhood, the closeness that we feel at the culmination of the retreat is always like, oh, we don't want to leave. We don't want to leave. I have fortified so many additional sisters throughout attending this retreat that you will not want to miss it. The cohort is 555 and the retreat is 555 as well. However, if you'd like to do both, we do have a special offer for those of you who would like to do both, which takes about $222 off. So it ends up being $888 for both program and the retreat. Or you could decide to do one or the other. Some people don't have the time. They don't have the 12 weeks and it'll be really hard for them to plan that within their schedule. You will receive just as much information within the 2 days. The 3 days, 2 nights, you will receive some workshops that will really go over some of the information.
But with that, so the difference is with the retreat, it's going to be the graduation for the people who went through the 12-week training. So they've been able to do the personal consultation. They've been able to get some tools. They've been able to really do the work to be seated on their throne. In the retreat, we are going to basically celebrate their success and their activation. And the women coming in, we'll have hopefully a couple of the other sisters practitioners who would share different tools, different journaling to maintain this lifestyle. So coming to the retreat, you're going to get to hear their stories. You're going to get to hear what happened through their rites of passage, or not rites of passage, but activation, going through the principles. But you'll be able to see what their outcomes are, right? And then if you're interested in doing the 12 weeks, you will get to the opportunity to sign up to do that at a discounted rate as well. But the retreat itself is going to be part of the graduation for those that have already done the program.
Absolutely.
If that clears it up.
Yes, that look, that straightened my thought out as well. So for those of you who haven't in particular, who want to come to the retreat, you're not sure about the cohort, you will be able to receive a few nuggets within the retreat via our workshops and our ceremony.
Yes.
But you just won't get the individualized, personalized training, coaching, and accountability that you could expect within the cohort. In addition to that, the certifications or our certificates for those who have gone through the program will just be for those who went through the 12-week. But we celebrate all women. So it is a celebrating whether you are activating, or graduating, whether you're activating or ascending. So for those of you who just want to come out and activate these principles so that you can go home and do the self-work, we definitely would love to see you there. It is really important that we start to take the time and make the time for self. And so that's what this cohort is about. When you embrace the queen within, you recognize not only your soul sovereignty, but that your soul needs a little self-care.
Yes, a little fun, right? So it'll be a very fun, celebratory retreat. I mean, there's nothing that's going to be off limits in a sense of what it is that celebrates you. So we will definitely look forward to seeing your face in the place. We definitely still have registration open. You can DM us if you would like to participate in either one of the retreat or the intensive. We have about 14 days to go before we go live with that. So please tap in. We have payment options. We have payment plans. It's definitely no one left behind. So if you have an interest and you want to participate, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Ashe. And here is a little video clip. Oops, I always do this. Every time I do it, I So this shows one of our retreats, the workshop. This is really showing you what to expect. We have workshops on sacred food, plants, sound therapy, yoga, beautiful views. We were packed. We had a nice group of women. Hey. Plant medicine. I love the fire.
Nature at its finest.
Yes.
You got it all inside of you.
Yes, you do. Hey.
I didn't even know that song said that. Was that not perfect?
You have it all inside of you.
It all inside of you.
Yes.
I love that. I didn't even know that song said that. Oh, that is so wonderful. Well, thank you all for tapping into the circle, this rising. I want to thank each and every person who tapped in, even if it was just for a second to hear about what we're doing. Please share this with your friends, family who may be interested. Take the journey with your bestie for a super discount.
Yes.
DM us for more details in regards to that, or you can go right to goodvibesloungellc.com for all the details on the programs. You can also go to goodvibesloungellc.com to find out about future programs and or retreats, even if you want to schedule a private retreat for your family and friends. We do travel, so reach out.
Until next time, we are soul sisters speaking out and fixing crowns in the process. Peace and love.
Every day.